Greetings from Snake Mountain Boat Works on Saturday, December 14, 2024. Rick has made major strides on the bottom of our 1950 Chris Craft mahogany-sided U22. And I'll hand it off to Rick, and he can tell us how he got to this point and what is next. Take it away, Rick.
Okay, after I laid the planks down, I started with the 3M filler, the marine filler, and you have to go over it a couple different times. First time you go through, you fill the holes, and then the second time you go through after you sand it with this DA down here, which is the round one.
Yep.
Then you run another coat over the top of that to fill any voids that is left. And then my next step now would be
So wait a minute. So right now you've gone over it twice, sanding in between.
Yes, I went down after I laid all my planks. You have to kind of rough it in, line it first.
Right.
With the big sander, which is
Right.
the next size up from that one there. And then I went through and, like I said, I filled all the holes to start with, and any of the little voids that you might see, if that's anywhere where it would show up, that wouldn't be good. And you can see I got it fairly flat to start with just sanding it down with the big sander and lining it. And my next step, like I said, was to put on the next coat.
Yep.
Which I did. And of course, you can see down through here, there's a boot stripe that goes right here. So you got to be really careful on where you're putting your filler in, because this all has to be plugged, because this is all going to be varnished.
Well, that's right.
So
Yep.
you had to tape it all out first to get that where you bought it. Then I knew where I was going to put my filler. So then I was able to take, after I sanded it, I could take tape off and refill it without
Right.
having the tape back on.
So now you're going to sand it with the D8 again?
Yep. And now it's going to be a little noisy, but as you can see. It cuts it down pretty fast, and you want to keep going in the same kind of a motion, so you're not going to be digging into the wood and making any more, because it's not lined right now.
Right. Right.
Once I get all this sanded down and ready for my next step, then I'll be taking out.
But will you apply more filler?
If I need it, I'll look and see if there's any voids anywhere. But
Okay.
usually 2 coats will fill the holes.
All right.
Really good. As you can see, there's no voids at all in it right there.
Well, it was interesting what Joe said the other day. This is the only product we use where we sand away probably 90% of it.
Yeah, I mean,
It just becomes waste.
Yeah, out of that can, you're probably getting a quarter of it, because the
Yeah,
rest of it goes in the sander.
Right.
Yeah. And then my next step after that, I'm going to flatboard it. So what I'm going to do is take out a pencil, and I'm going to run a whole bunch of lines all the way down through it, everywhere, just as close as I can.
Yeah.
And then this is hooked up to the air and the vacuum, and it's very noisy, so I haven't got it plugged in. But you want to kind of keep it on an angle like this, so you're covering this plank and this plank, and you just keep going back and forth down through with it, keeping the grit. You don't want to go like this, because you're going to put lines in it. You want to keep it just enough of an angle so you're cutting this plank and this plank. And then you take all your lines down, and then you'll move up again, and you just keep going back and forth, and by the time you get to the other end, you're gonna look down through there, and it's gonna be straight as a whistle. It's gonna be flat.
Yep. Yep.
And after I get that done, I'll vacuum it all off again, and then it's time for the Smith CPES, and we're gonna put 4 coats of that down.
Yep.
And when I get that done, then I'll be doing the priming.
Yep. The Interlux 2000E 5 coats.
Yep, 5 coats.
Alternating between gray and white.
Yeah, you start out with your gray, that way you end up with your gray.
That's right.
And it's easier to cover when you put your bottom paint on.
Yeah, that's a good guide. When you're using the 2000E, start with gray. That means you finish with gray, and your bottom paint, in this case, Pettit, hard racing copper bronze will cover much better. You'll have fewer obvious holidays. So our U22 Connie has come a long, long way. And as you can see, the way we do a 5200 bottom, this thing is like a Sherman tank now. I don't care how fast Dave decides to run her up the St. Clair River, but she's just going to get right up on plane. This the bottom is not going to deflect at all. And well, I kind of wish I'd have the opportunity to be in her, but the St. Clair River and Marine City is long, long drive from here. So that's our update on the true 5200 bottom on our 1950 Chris Craft mahogany sided U22. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now from Snake Mountain Boat Works.